Not having enough money to pay your bills on time can be a stressful thing. It can be a stressful thing when the light is to be paid and the water is to be paid, but the money is not coming in on time. It can be a stressful thing when the mortgage or the rent is due and you just don't know where the money is coming from to meet that deadline, trying to hide from the landlord, hoping and praying that the money will come as soon as possible. But if paying the bills late can be stressful, not having the money to pay the bills at all can be depressing. It can be depressing to the point where it is night and you lay in your bed and wonder and you worry, but you just can't sleep. It can be depressing to the point where you see your favorite meal and you just can't eat. Not having enough money cannot be a gift from God. Because God wants us to be happy. He wants us to be comfortable. He wants us to be productive. He wants us to have a good life. Not having enough money is not of God. Today we are going to discuss how to get out of debt and have a financially independent life. Now, I'm going to tell you a story. And this story comes from 2 Kings 4 verses 1 to 7. Now, before I even go into the story, I'd advise you, if you're having a financial problem, if you're having a monetary problem, or even if you're doing good with money, read the book called The Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason. I'd advise you to read that book. It will definitely help you to manage money and to do well in your financial life. Now, this is a story in the Bible. There was a man, and according to the Bible, he was a man of God. He used to walk with the prophets. He was a noble man. The Bible said that he loved God. He had a wife and he had 2 sons. But the Bible said that this man died. And when he died, he left behind a substantial amount of debt. Now let's stop there. The thing is, we as persons who are living sometimes fail to come up with a exit financial plan. What am I talking about? I'm talking about some money put aside when we are alive so that after we have passed and gone, those who are left behind will not be faced with the burden to bury us and pay off our debt. Now, there are many persons listening to me speaking right now, and you do not have an exit financial plan. The average funeral today in Jamaica costs $600,000, and for those of you living in the States, it's about 4,500 US or 5,000 US dollars to bury somebody right now in Jamaica. I believe it is selfish and unfair for people to be living, have sons, have daughters, have wives, have husbands, but fail to put in place an exit financial plan. Now, many times when people die and you see loved ones crying, sure, they miss those who have passed. But sometimes deep in that weep, deep in that crying, they are saying there is no money to bury this person. No money at all. We have to be smarter than this. We have to be wiser than this. There are many persons right now who are suffering financially, who would be better off if their father and or mother had just left even $1 million behind for them to go back to school, for them to start a business, or for them to even bury the dead. There are many persons right now who are in financial problems because their loved ones had died and they had to borrow money to bury loved ones. This should not happen to us. Let us be wise. So the Bible said that the man of God died and he left behind a substantial amount of loan. Creditors came upon the wife, and the wife went to one of his friends, the prophet Elisha. Let's stop there. The wife was wise to go to Elisha because Elisha was able to help her. And many times we are very guilty of going to the persons that are not able to help us to solve the particular problem, the particular situation that we are in. Going to the persons that cannot help us sometimes will just increase the problem. Listen to this scenario. The lady is married. She has marital problems. She wants assistance. She go to her friend for help. The friend is not married, doesn't have a boyfriend, and can't keep a boyfriend for help. What kind of advice will that friend give to her? We need to be wise as it relates to going to the right person to get the right advice. Listen to this scenario. You just got a lump sum of money. You want to start a business. You have a uncle who you love so much, but this uncle, he's not wise as it relates to handling money, not smart enough. But you go to your uncle because you love your uncle for advice. Wrong move. We have to be wiser as it relates to getting information for the things that we want to do. Whatever task we plan to take on, let us look for the persons with some kind of experience in that task. Somebody who has done well in that task. Somebody who can give good advice. Let us not go to friends who cannot help us. Let us be wise. You plan to buy a house? Speak to someone who had purchased house before. Speak to somebody who is in that industry. Do your research. You plan to invest some money? Speak with somebody who has that knowledge as it relates to investing money. Don't go to someone who has never ever invested before. As I said, read The Richest Man in Babylon. That book will definitely help us in making better decisions as it relates to handling money. So the Bible said that the lady went to the man of God, and the man of God said to her, "What can I do for you? What can I do to help you?" Now, those who listened to me when I did the speech that said, what do you do when you pray and the very thing that you pray and ask God not to happen to you? I spoke to this, and I said that we need to be precise as it relates to the very things that we are asking God to fix. We should state the problem, then we should ask, when we should tell God what we want him to do. Now, this was the very question that the man of God said to the lady. Now, the lady said to him that the creditors are upon me and they are planning to take my 2 sons. Let's stop there. For there to be creditors, there has to be a borrower. There have to be borrowers. There have to be debtors. No, this is the thing. There are persons who borrow, but they do not practice to pay or pay back on time. There are persons who will borrow from friends small things, sometimes small things, sometimes small amounts of money, sometimes large amount of money, but they do not practice to pay back at all or pay back on time. That's a nasty habit, and that is not from God. There are persons listening to me right now who may be in church, who may borrow from a church brother, who may borrow from a friend, who may go to a friend and say, "Lend me this, I will pay you back next week, or I will pay you back next month," knowing that they will not have it next week, knowing that they will not have it next month. And the thing is, when you lend them and when you go to them and ask them after the time that they said that they would pay, they want to have an attitude, a bad attitude towards us, as if we should not ask them back for what we loaned them. Let's cut it out. Borrowing from persons and developing the habit not to repay can haunt us in the future. So you always borrow from your friend, but you don't pay back, or you don't pay back on time. And then you purchase a house or you purchase a car, but you borrowed the money. But because you develop the habit of not paying back or not paying back on time, you find that little by little you fall behind in your mortgage, you fall behind in your car payment, and before you know it, you lose your house or you lose your car, and then you cry out to God, "God, where are you?" Now you had developed this nasty attitude from early. It has now come back to haunt you. Whatever you borrow, have some backbone. You said that you will repay in X time, repay it. Give back the man the pen, give back the man the lighter, give back the money. Whatever you borrow, give back the man the shoes, give back your friend the stocking. Whatever you borrow, repay. Now, the man of God said to the lady, "The creditors are upon you. What do you have in the house?" The lady said, "I have nothing at all. All I have is a jug of oil." The lady said she had nothing at all. All she had was a jug of oil. Now, let's stop there again. There are many persons right now, deep down you are thinking that you are nothing. Life is not going the way that you want it to go. You may be working for someone, but the money that you are getting can't even take you back to work. You have to be borrowing from persons to go back to work. You have to be borrowing from persons, begging from persons to send your children to school. Things are not going right, and you are getting older and older. So you're thinking now that you are worthless, but there may be a talent inside of you. Right now I am talking to you. What is your talent? What can you do well? What do you enjoy doing? The lady said that she had nothing inside the house, but she had oil. The man of God said, "That is what you have? We are going to use what you have." Many persons right now, you're working for somebody, you're very uncomfortable comfortable at work, but you can cook. You can cook well. You cook for your family. You cook for large amounts of people, and they enjoy how you cook. Why don't you start off doing something like that? Why don't you save up some money and start your own business? There are persons listening to me now, and you may be working for somebody, but you have the talent to fix vehicles. You are good with your hands. Why don't you start your own business? Start your own garage. Start your own company. Persons right now working for $5,000 a week when you can fix any phone. Why don't you go in that area? Persons with the talent to sing right now listening to me, thinking that you are nothing because you are not using that talent, that oil that is inside of you that God gave to you. What is inside your house? Well, the man of God said to her, that oil that you have in your house, you are going to use it to create many opportunities, to create lots and lots of money. And those listening to me right now, if you are okay living a kind of life where you're just getting by a little bit, that's okay with you if you're okay with that. But I want a lot. I want plenty, so I can share with my friends. I can give to those who are in need. I want plenty, and I'm asking for plenty. What are you asking for? Then again, what is inside your house? Use it so that you may get the plenty that you want, that you're asking for, so that you may share. So the man of God said to the lady, that oil that you have in your house, it's in a jug. This is what I want you to do. I want you to go to your friends, and I want you to ask them for as many containers as possible. He said as many as possible. He did not give her a number. Now let me explain two things right there. Initially we spoke about borrowing and we spoke about repaying. Now this is how it goes. The man of God said to her, go and get some jugs, go and get some containers. That container or those containers represented things that would be able to generate more. Listen to me keenly. Those containers represent things that would be able to generate more. Many persons are listening to me right now with credit card issues. You used your credit card and you bought shoes, clothes, alcohol, you partied. It wasn't used to purchase anything that would give you back money. Many persons right now who are listening to me, you got a loan from the bank. But instead of using that loan to generate more money, you used it for consumption goods. And now you have to be repaying the bank and at the same time taking care of your everyday life. That will definitely set you back. Now, the man of God said, go and borrow. Go and borrow because you do not have enough. But borrow as much as possible. Let's stop right there again. Many persons right now are doing their own business, or maybe working for somebody, or maybe going to school, or have an idea. What God is saying to you, don't stop with the little. Don't stop with the little. Go as far as possible. You want to start a business? Think big. Think big. Don't just think about a little stall by the road. Maybe you can start there, but think bigger than that. One of the things is, many persons right now are afraid to start a business because they are afraid to fail. Fear does not come from God. I repeat, fear does not come from God. And many Christians right now, you have never ever gone to heaven, but you believe that when you die, you will be in heaven. Now, if you can believe God that when you die, you will go to heaven, why can't you believe that the same God that will take you to heaven will definitely give you prosperity, will definitely give you success, will definitely give you wisdom? Think and think big. So the man of God said to the lady, go borrow drums, go get some containers. And when you do, you go in your house and you shut the door. Now this shut the door comes up again. The speech I spoke about earlier with Jairus, it spoke about shutting the door, and Jesus had shut the door on those who did not believe. Now the man of God said to the lady, when you take the containers in, when you're about to do what you're supposed to do to produce, shut the door. Don't let the neighbors look in. No, there are many of us with ideas right now, and for some of us, every time we have an idea, we share it with everybody. We gone on social media, we gone on Facebook. Everybody knows our plan. Then before we know it, the plan is dead. Sometimes we need to just share the plan with God. Share the plan with those who are close to us, who see eye to eye with us, who are at the same kind of level, the same wavelength with us, the same frequency with us, so that both of you can come together. People with the same minds, people with the same kind of energy can come together and let the conversation, let whatever is in the thought process grow. It is not for everybody to know. Sometimes we chat too much, telling everybody what we're gonna do, telling everybody who we're gonna become. Let us be selective as it relates to the things that we are going to do. And let us be selective as it relates to the friends that we keep. Now, the man of God said to the lady, when you get your containers, the oil that you have, you are going to pour them in these containers. Now, a miracle took place. A miracle took place because the lady had one container of oil. Now, as many as containers that she had taken, those were the containers that were filled with oil. Now, if her measure of faith had told her to collect 1,000,000 containers, she would have received 1,000,000 containers of oil. If her measure of faith would have told her to collect 100 barrels, she would have only received 100 barrels of oil. What am I saying to you? Where is your measure of faith? Once again, whatever you're doing, do it big. Go for it. So you want a house? Don't settle for less. Go for the house that you actually want. The house that you're dreaming of. You want a car? Go for the car that you actually want. The car that you dream about. The car that when you see it on the road every time is like goosebumps come on your hands, all over your body. Go for what you want. Think big. If not, you'll be sorry. You will be sorry when you go to the bank and only take $1 million in loan when the bank is saying you can get $100 million. You will be sorry when the business, the small business that you're doing is growing to a point where you said, if I had just taken more, if I had just done more, if I had just lifted my faith and done some more, I would have achieved more. I would be achieving some more. Let us ask for more. Let us use the opportunity that is here right now and think big. Now, the lady, while she was pouring, she asked her son to give me another bottle. Give me another bottle. And she poured and she poured. And the Bible said that as soon as the jugs were done, and the Bible said that as soon as the containers were finished, the oil stopped running. What does that mean? It means that we should lift our faith to the highest. Because guess what? If we settle for less, God is going to give us less, believe it or not. If we settle for more, He's going to give us more. It is the same God that said, those who have a lot, believe it or not. God said, those who have a lot, He will give more. But those who have none, even that which you don't have will be taken away from you. What is that saying? That's saying ask for more. Ask for a lot so that God may give us more. God may give us a lot. So the lady went back to the man of God and she said to the man of God, sir, I have done exactly what you have said, and the oil have stopped running. The man of God said to her, go sell the oil, pay the debtors, and live off the rest. What's the lesson right here? It is saying that when we invest, when we go and borrow that money, first and foremost, we need to repay the loan. We are never ever going to succeed if we borrow from persons and in the back of our mind we tend to get things free. No one will give us things for free. But guess what? If people see us trying, they will give. When God sees us trying, He will always open doors. Are you trying? What are you trying to do? Do you believe in God? Do you believe that God will help you? Do you believe that money is good for you? Do you think that money is bad? Because if you think that money is bad, you will never ever have money. It is Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 19 that says money answers all. How can we be a man or a woman of God going around saying that God has blessed us, preaching to persons that we are blessed, and when they say to us, help us, give us a meal, we're going to tell them that we don't have? That is not the will of God for us. It is the will of God for us to have plenty. It is the will of God for us to have enough so that we may be able to share.